sort of question and answer to catch people up, especially those people who've been away. A lot of people have asked me to do a little bit of a question and answer because they missing the answers for certain things. So I'm going to give you an opportunity today with the Segredo and the Ninja to do a question and answer, and then come tonight at 7:30. Unfortunately, Barbara made an error with the schedule. Come tonight at 7:30 p.m. It's supposed to be 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the evening class, guys. We changed it. So from next week, it will be 7 p.m. But come tonight for 7:30 p.m. and I'll have this little piece of puzzle that I need, and I will go into much detail about this trending techniques using Segredo, the daily charts, the 50-minute charts, and some other things that are going to be coming out. Please tell us how to log in tonight. Oh, you just go to the members classes. How you got in today? Just go into members classes on Shadow Traders and click on the link there. That's all you need to do. And then lastly, there's one more thing that I was going to talk about. Yeah, so for the rest of the series of this November and going into the holidays, I'm going to be continuing this pattern of finding your focus. But what I am also doing is I'm reading all your emails, and I'm working very diligently on coming out with a specialized trading coaching program that I promised you guys, because I'm still getting a lot of emails of people hacking and blowing up their accounts, and I know it's because that you guys just get hypnotized by the markets. You're still confused about different strategies, different indicators, and we really need to follow a more focused trading plan. So and that's hard. That's easier said than done, and I understand this more than anybody else does. I've made the same mistakes, broken every rule in the book, lost my own, accounts in the past. So I understand the learning curve, and with working with so many traders over the last 4 years, I understand the issues that you guys deal with. So what I've done is I'm trying to segue into the next year to really set you guys up with a real specialized program. It's kind of like the 21-day rule, and it's not going to break your bank, so to speak, so that, and repackage it with the Shadow Traders program, because right now they're going through a bit of a restructure and restructuring things, trying to do an update of everything and trying to repackage things since the release of the Segredo and order trading, and trying to move people more in the direction of where they're going for the future with the release of the Segredo order trading system. So with that restructure, I'm trying to incorporate the coaching part for you guys, so it's more specialized, and you guys can have a more chance of accomplishing that focused trading plan that you're looking for, and more of a tell me how to trade kind of a deal, as opposed to going through all the many choices that you're facing today. So I think that's part of the problem too, is you guys have too many choices. Having too many choices is not a good thing. A lot of times when left to our own devices, we are our own worst enemy, especially in trading. So I really want to help you guys with this, but I need, I'm still putting it together. So I need you guys to keep sending me those emails. If you have any suggestions or inputs or any ideas that you would like for me to think about or include, please feel free, good, bad, indifferent, send me those feedbacks. I do appreciate them, and I will include it in my proposal to Shadow Traders, and let's hope that they will approve it going into the holidays in the next year. So give you a good chance to implement it over the holidays. Sounds great. I know we will get to all the detail and structure that we really need. Thank you. Absolutely, yes. Like I said, I've learned so many tools and tricks, and it's kind of, I've been doing my own research on how traders think, the mind, the trading mind, and I've connected a few more pieces and gone through my own transitions, and I think I can make a few tweaks to the coaching and my teaching style, especially to help you guys connect the dots better. And that's really what I'm going for this year, is helping you guys connect the dots better, so you're not left to your own devices so much, trying to make choices from too many things and getting yourselves in trouble. That's the idea. Is there a live event in the future? I'm really hoping we can do one. Again, like I said, I'm waiting for the approval from shadow traders. That's, that's the thing that's really holding us up here. And it's all about how they're going to restructure the package, getting rid of the old and incorporating just the new, and making things a little bit more fine-tuned and more streamlined, moving in the direction of the Segredo future and the auto trading future for everybody. So, that's what they've been working on. That's why you haven't heard too much lately during the summer. So hang in there. We should hear something this month and through November, and hopefully we can get something out to you before the holidays so you guys can work on it over the holidays. Okay? Thank you, Gail. Thanks, Janice. A lot of thank yous. Okay, and the auto trade as well. Yeah, eventually the auto trader will, I'm sure, come out. But like I said, we want to get you guys really winning on a conservative trading plan. Less is really more, and sometimes even $50 a day, is better than a blown up account. So, we have to relook at this. Okay, so let's do what I'm going to do right now. Is quickly pull up the I forgot to pull up the Segredo for a second. And then what we're going to do is we're going to look at a couple of things. We can circle through the markets for today, like the euro natural gas. I kind of want to give you guys, and rather than focusing on one market tonight, today, like I normally do, and I'll do that tonight with the trend trading, but I want to kind of circle through a couple of markets, like the volatile markets versus the trendy markets. I want to compare euro natural gas and gold and crude oil for you. And I'm going to bring up the Segredo quants just so that you guys know, and you guys can ask me any questions you like. So I know there's a lot of questions from people that have emailed me that you're still confused about a couple of things. And a lot of you may not have thought about certain questions, and this might, set off a light bulb. You never know. So you guys can ask me any questions you like about trend trading, counter trend trading, or any of the general things, and about how to use the Segredo formatting and so forth. And I do want to try to cover as many questions very quickly as possible. And I don't want to get into too many loaded questions like, how to trade this or how to do that, because I am going to cover that in the trend trading class and the counter trend trading class. So let's see if we can cover a lot of the basic how-tos, with the strategies or confusions that you have, especially. A lot of you have tried things and you're still getting faked out, especially confusions around fake outs. I think a lot of you still have that. So I'd like to address some of those questions today. Does that sound good? Deb says, I missed the chat room. I feel lonely. Yes, I know. I have to try to, that's going to be a tough one. Unfortunately, with the regulations that came down in 2013, the NFA and all the authorities that kind of made a swoop of all the educators in the marketplace, they already went through us. They did an extensive audit on us already, and we were able to pass with flying colors. Some systems out there and programs I know got shut down, but their regulations have increased to the fact that we can no longer do live trade room setups, especially if you're doing live trades in the room or dealing with live markets, because they call that front running. So it's like I will place a trade and everybody else will follow my trade, and I will get filled and you won't get filled because you get in later than I do. And that's what they call front running. So they put a stop to those kinds of trade rooms, and they're still, I guess, they're still working through all the educators out there. But like I said, they've already been through our company, through Shadow Traders Company, I should say, and we were able to pass their audit. So that's the reason why Barbara's not so inclined to continue the chat room. She kind of want to move everybody into the auto trading chat room, which is what Segredo Trader is all about. And for those people who are having difficulty getting re-signed up for Segredo, please send me an email to Melanie Sun Trades, melanie@gmail.com, and I will certainly help you guys get signed up before the end of the year. And and we may come out with a new package that will restructure everything for you and include the Segredo and all the coaching and all the training you need. So look forward to that as well before next year. I've learned so much from her in the chat room that I could never otherwise. I know she's one thing about Barbara Cohen, and I tell you, she is the most knowledgeable trader that I know, and a wealth of knowledge. There's nobody in the business that I know knows as much as she does, and her extensive experience and coding and chart technician expertise is what set her apart from so many coders out there. She knows exactly what's in the marketplace, what works and what doesn't work, and she's tested so many strategies, put her time in, and I think she's really come up with what works best. And I think with the latest introduction of Segredo, I really think it's the way forward. It's just a case of people making that transition and feeling more comfortable with their strategies and being more focused with their trading plans. And that's kind of the piece of the puzzle that really needs to kind of knit everything together for you guys. Is the Segredo chat room back fully functioning? Well, there isn't technically a live trade room. What Segredo Quants is a trade room, but it's automated. Please understand that when you sign into Segredo Quants, make sure you use the shadowtraders.segredoquants.com and leave off the www part. Make sure that you don't, make sure that you type Shadow Traders. I'm going to put it up here just so you know. Shadow Traders. Just so you guys can copy the address on top here. .segredo. Can't type and talk at the same time. SegredoQuants.com. Okay, that's the address you must use when signing up. ShadowTraders.SegredoQuants, and leave off the www, and you'll get the $100 rate. And like I said, they may come out with some new packages and stuff that still gives you the good rate if you take on additional things, whatever. But for right now, the $100 rate is shadowtraders.segredoquants.com. Now, if at any point if you need to cancel over the holidays, or you are going away for 6 months, some people do that. Life comes up, or you have health issues and things like that, you can cancel. You don't need to send an email or call. You just simply go to settings, the setting tab right here at the next to the sign out, and you just simply delete your information. You just backspace it, just delete it, and then hit cancel, and it will automatically cancel. It's very simple but I wouldn't cancel until your next billing date starts. So try to use the full month, and then before the next rollover of your billing date, then just go in and cancel if you need to cancel over the holidays, or if you're impaired in some way and you can't use it for a while, you can always re-sign up again. There's no limit to how many times you can sign up. I know you had a trade room with a broker using it to trade. Yeah, is that over? Yes, that is over. I know you ladies are very, very smart in futures, but it's extremely hard to learn how to properly trade. I have many friends who would love to join up, but they find it is too hard learning how to trade properly once again. I believe that it would help most by getting a good foundation for trading first. Well, that's a very good point, Ray. A lot of the thing with trading is that we have so many different types of students. It would be easier if I knew that all of you had qualified, past a certain class, and then you come to this class, and then we just do a specific level, and then you pass that class, and then you do the next level, so it would be a little easier. The problem we have is we have people at different areas, different ends of the spectrum of the learning curve. We have different types of traders, people who prefer different markets. So there's such a lot of ground to cover. Trading is a very big subject, but there's always something to learn. I had a discussion with somebody the other day, which was, made a very fantastic point, and he says you got to love the mastery. You got to love the process. It's the process of mastering, developing that skill of trading. That's what's going to see you to, trading till you're 80 years old. I have traders who are 80 years old in our group. And so it's the long haul. And so you'll learn a piece of information today, you learn a technique tomorrow, but it's being involved, being engaged, and loving that process. And that's why I'm going to be coming up with a coaching program for specific people like that who want to learn how to trade a specific way. And this is not like the classes that I do. The classes are very general. We cover a wide spectrum of information in the classes, and I try to cover a lot of ground to accommodate as many people as possible. So, but in the program, it's a very do this, then do that, very step-by-step trade. Make this trade today, make that trade tomorrow. It's a very, very, very specific laid-out program. I've been working very hard on it, so you'll hear more about that soon. Are they trying to lose all their money before they croak? You're hysterical. Well, the thing is, nobody's going to be a millionaire by Friday. The chances are you blow up your account trying to do that. So they have to keep trading to make some money. Funny, the trading process is less to do with trading and more to do with personal development. Who knew? Exactly. Trading is a fantastic personal development medium. I have grown so much. I know Barbara's even grown so much. I've seen her style change over the years. Her choices of indicators change over the years. Everybody grows, and that's the beautiful thing. That's what keeps it exciting and gets those neurons firing. Okay? It's never an all or nothing game. Our target. Now they kind of got to figure out what they want to do next, how many traders are still around at 225, So this is what happens in the evening also. And then you got to look for news reports. Check your Forex factory to see which markets are going to have some news. Because if there's news, it's going to create the momentum you need. So go trade that market with news. But what I would do is I would circle through the 6A, the 6E, and ask yourself, are we set up for a trending opportunity? Or is it looking like something like this? Or are we set up for a counter trending, and have we reached our targets yet? If we are trending, have we hit our support point like a fractal or a pivot? Or if we're counter trending, have we hit our moving average yet? And if we haven't, if they're somewhere in between trying to reach that, then you kind of get an idea of how much volume is going to be in that market. And then the news factor. So either any of those markets will work. Gold, 6E, 6A, and a lot of times I find if you pull up more than one market, chances are when a news item happens, both markets will give you an opportunity. So you can the saying, kill two birds with one stone, double your opportunities, get your target faster, put one trade in one market, one trade in another market, and be done with it. Okay, I'm 85, and if you keep it simple, 3 indicator, you will make money. Too many want to have specific setups given to them like an experiment. That's a very, very good point. Which markets would you trade in the European morning session, for instance, 3 a.m. to 9 a.m. New York times? Well, the morning session, I find the only market worth trading is really Euro. That's the only market worth trading if you want to, and you can have bad days too. Like today, look at this choppiness. You can have bad days too. But then there's other days in the week where you'll see something really good, a really good opportunity. There's no absolutes, guys. It's kind of like, you're going to get some really good days and you're going to get some really bad days, but you kind of just have to show up. Like hot trading, because we're on the trend, right? Then on this morning over here at 11:03, well, just forget about it. It's going to be lousy because you're already on resistance point. Then you come to the next day. It's all about where are you in the grand scheme of things. And that's what I'm going to be talking about tonight, which you're going to see more clearly. So, check your higher time frames. You don't have to have all the charts up for your trading. And then see what you can get based on what the morning offers. How do you use options to buy regular stocks from S&P? Ooh, that's a question I can't get in today. That's really going off in a completely different direction. I'm not even going to be talking about options and stocks. You know, I will be covering those types of questions in a more specific agenda over the next series of classes. So I'm sorry, but that will be way too off the topic right now, and would just confuse a whole bunch of novice people. Usually go from a lower time frame to a higher time frame to see what's happening. Wouldn't it be better to start with a higher time frame to go down to see with the big picture first? Well, that is the whole idea. That's why, guys, I always say set up your workspace like this. Always set up your higher time frame on the left, because in the Western world we read from left to right, and the lower time frame on the right. So there's always more importance on the left side of your screen. Okay, your eye naturally reads from left to right. So that is how your direction is governed. So you can set up any workspace you want with the Segredo charts as well as a Ninja. You can have your 1 minute, your 5 minute, your 60 minute, or your 15 minute. You can have just your 15 and 5. You can have a 3 and a 15. You can have any combination of what you like. And the key thing is that whatever you use is always defined. The left side of the screen tells you the direction, and the right side of the screen gives you the timing of your entry and exit to minimize your risk, so that you don't get caught at the high of the bar versus the low of the bar, that kind of thing. And that's the idea here. So we use 1 minute to say we want to enter as close to our moving average as possible before we hit resistance, like a pivot or a fractal. And we're going to trade the direction of long because our higher time frame candles are green, and there's more inclination with the rest of our indicators that the market is going to remain bullish. So that's the idea. So we're taking our cue from the left side and getting our timing on the lower time frame in the right side. Once your eyes are trained going through the 60 minutes, shouldn't it be a lot of stress. Exactly. It really, and you'll see over tonight's class and the next series of classes that I'm going to show you the differences in style and the differences in risk model between using the higher time frames per se, like let's say we use a 5 minute, a 15 minute, or let's do this. We'll change here. This, I think, is very interesting, which a lot of you haven't, I think, considered, because you're just trading with too small of accounts. And so you're all wrapped up in the 1 minute chart. 5 minute chart, and you can trade a 15 minute chart, and you can trade a 60 minute chart. And it filters the chop. So, these things that we have to consider as far as risk and trading plans, your trading styles, and most importantly, the timing of your entries and exits. How about 3 times the three time meld combo chart? The combo chart. Well, I have discussed the combo charts in the past, and there's definitely videos in the FAQ, and I will definitely do a class on the combo charts. That's going to come up real soon. That's a lot for me to go into right now. You can replace like a matchy between the 1, 3, and 5 kind of a deal by using just the combo format. So you can have all the information of the 1 and the 3 on your 5 minute chart as a combo chart. And like I said, there are videos for different combo formats in the FAQ section if you look on the last page of the FAQ section. And I will do a special class on combo charts when I talk about charting and your how to set up your different workspaces. How do you read the 60 minute chart we have now on the 6C? Well, let's change to the 6C. Let's see here. Okay. Well, right now, if we look at the 6C 60-minute chart, and I'll change the 5-minute as well so you can see what the 6C looks like. And I'll change the 50-minute for you as well. And basically, the 60-minute is telling us we're in a trend short. Okay. We're in a trend short. We're kind of just penetrating the S4. So we've just broken through the S4. So because we're just below the S4, and if I look at all the stows at the bottom here, the stows have all hit the bottom across the board, stow 20 at least. You know, you have to consider the market condition very differently when you're trading in the range. When I talk about the range, I'm talking about trading inside of these pivots, like inside the floors. When you're trading below the S4, which is the basement of the market, it's like now you're trading underground. The market condition you have to treat very, very differently because you've got different outside influences influencing the market below the S4. And that's where you get, you know, fear drives a market down to the S4. Usually some news report or some fear causes the market to drop to the S4. It's some mini sort of correction. And then what happens is when we get to the S4, that's when the battle comes in. Do we want to turn things around, or do we want to have a major correction or a flash crash? And that's where major corrections occur, is below the S4. So you have other forces, like there's a company called an organization that Barbara talks about called the Plunge Protection Team. And after the 1929 stock market crash, they were formed, and you can go look on Google for this information. They were formed to protect, you know, people lining up for soup and bread on the street again, in the streets of New York. So they come in and they control these corrections. They actually control it by dumping money into the market, and they have buckets of money. They don't have a shortage of money. It's kind of like the Feds. They just print more money. So they can decide how much of the correction they're going to sustain and when they're going to stop buying. So because of that, you don't know really how low it's going to go and when they're going to turn it around. So you've always got to be cautious when trading below the S4. Got to treat the market very, very differently. But dropping to the S4, that's a beautiful opportunity. That's an opportunity I would be interested in. And then when we get to the S4, I'll be looking to scalp. I'll be looking to scalp on those counter trends. Okay, there's reversals and counter trends. I would be scalping, waiting for the timing of my setups. And then once we're below, I wouldn't really be interested in going much lower here, okay, unless I saw major momentum come into the market. And given the fact that the stow's already at the bottom, the MACD's flat below the zero line, you know, I would be considering trading another market right now, or watching to see when the counter trending is going to come in and scalping on the counter trending. That's what I'd be looking to do. So, and you'll notice that we've had a long tail here on the 60-minute chart. The LR9 is starting to curve, okay? The HMA is already caught up to the price. So we have to monitor to see if things are going to turn around. And if we look at the 50-minute chart, you probably start to see the green candles start to come in. Circle with a dot. We've got the doji, you know. So I wouldn't be too excited about going short unless you see a lot of momentum suddenly come in. That big drop was caused because the European bank dropped the interest rates. Yes, there's always something that causes that correction. It's either, you know, some big news item or something that drives the market. And those are beautiful opportunities. Those are your golden opportunities. And when you see something like that, go trade and trade with the momentum. You know, just trade with the momentum. Following your trend lines, your moving averages. The PPT or working group was formed in '88, ban signed in effect by Reagan. Exactly. In Segredo, the 1, 3, and 5-minute mirror and cycle 1, 2, and 3, do you wait for them to align, i.e. all say sell or buy to increase your odds of a good trade? That's a very, very good question, and I think it's something that you will probably want to back test for yourself. So the question is, here's the mirror signal, right? And we've got the cycle. If we move, you can actually move these boxes by left clicking and dropping them into the position you want. So if you want to put it over here, I can move the box over, and then you can crop it, and you can put it in alignment with your chart. So if, let's say, let's change this to gold for a second, because gold has got some mirror signals right now. Okay, so the sell just came in for the 3-minute, and the sell's still on the 50-minute, and we've got a red candle on a 5-minute forming. Do you have to wait for them all to align before you make the trade? And the answer is no. The answer is no. You know, if you back test your little formula and you decide that you decide both ways, you try with just one sell signal on one time, or when they're all aligned, and to see how late you get in because of it, that will be your kit. It's going to show it to you, which is why you need the higher time frames, especially if you want to observe the trend. Because if we pull up, let's pull up a 15-minute Segredo to compare this. Huge move today when 15-minute has a yellow oscillator 7 and 8. Yeah, so the nice thing about the Segredo, if you look at the 15-minute chart and compare it to the 1-minute chart, you can see that we're on 4 and 5. You know, 5 is already well into, we're likely to hit some you know, some fizzle, let's put it this way, some fizzle in the trend, as opposed to trading between 1 and 2 and 3. Trading in the first 3 bars on a 15-minute chart, which is the beginning part, you know, which is, what's that, 2 and 215. 2 and 215, as you can see here, is the beginning part of this trend. This is kind of the leftovers, you know, so you can definitely hit some fizzle. So the 15-minute helps you to see where are you on the grand scheme of the trend. Are you trading in the sort of the middle to the end of the trend on the fizzle? And so it's what it's doing is it's qualifying this red price action. It's qualifying the sell opportunity on a 1-minute chart. If you're looking at the mirror, it's saying, are you trading the end of the party, or are you trading the middle of the party, or are you trading the beginning of the party? And that's why using a higher time frame is so important, as opposed to blindly following indicators and rules on a lower time frame. You're going to get a lot more risk and a lot more fake outs on the lower time frames, which is why it's very important to learn the higher time frames, which is why I'm doing the class tonight and next week on trending with the higher time frames. Can we look at the 60-minute to see how far advanced the general trend is? Sure. I'll do this. I'll put this over here. This is your 1-minute. This is your 15-minute. This is your mirror. And what I'll do is I'll pull up the 60-minute gold for you. So according to 60-minute gold, you can see we're pretty much below the S4 already. And notice that the HMA is just caught up to the candles, touching. Now, Lund Reg 9 looks like it's about to start crossing here. And we're just caught up to, there's your long tail. So you can see where your nice little trend trade started. Go to your 50-minute chart. There it is. And the 50-minute is showing you what's going inside that 60-minute long tail there, showing you that we're pretty much starting to hit the end of the party story by giving you the support fractals. There's your asterisk giving you confirmed low, and along now you got a new circle with a dot coming in on the present current candle, and there you can see the one minute is just showing you the confirmed asterisk to show yes, We've hit the support, your HMA's just changed color, and off we go now. That's the end of downtrending. We've hit some fizzle, and you can see the Segredo showed you very nicely with the yellow coming in. So even if you did take a chance and go short here on the sell signal a little earlier and you caught a little bit of price action, as soon as you see the yellow come in with the Segredo and the HMA start to change with those green, then you should exit your trade. You should definitely exit your trade. You know, and using the Segredo, I would have known the fizzle is likely to happen given the fact that we're trading on number 5 as opposed to trading on number 2 at 215. Define HMA. HMA is the yellow and sorry, what am I thinking? HMA is the red and green bar line, the trend line that hugs the price. It's called the whole moving average. It's just the moving average like moving averages, except it has a different calculation. And so it functions more like a linear regression formula. That's why it hugs the price as it does. It's a very nice indicator to use because you can play with all kinds of timings, given the fact you can play with formulas like things like the prices on the north side versus the south side of the HMA to see if we've penetrated resistance or support. So something like this, we were going up, we never penetrated the moving averages. We're coming down, we never penetrated the HMA here. So you wouldn't be trading there because you got no penetration either side, and it's sandwiched between those two barriers. It's sandwiched between the 13, it's sandwiched between the HMA. But now if you play with the timing of, okay, you wait for the penetration, you could be trading in something like this that's more guaranteed because you're going with the trend and your price is penetrated through the HMA. So it's a very useful tool. And the nice thing about Segredo, it actually gives you an edge. It actually changes color a little earlier than the Ninja does. So you can see already on the Segredo, when we change from red to green, hey, there's a fizzle happening on the downtrend, time to counter trend. Or if you're in a downtrend, time to get out so you minimize your any losses. So tonight's class will be different from today's, yes. Hi Melanie, I've been gone for a while. Well, welcome back. You've missed so many awesome classes, haven't you guys? So I'm glad you're back because we're in a new series of classes right now. I've been gone for a while. Could you comment on the success rate of Segredo Quant for all Shadow Traders members? Unfortunately, I can't comment on such a thing because I don't have all the statistics from everybody. I don't have access to that kind of survey. You know, so, but, you know, I have a lot of successful traders and I still have a lot of hackers because, you know, like Ray said, we have a lot of new traders that are still getting through the learning curve. You know, I've been at this game 7 years. Barbara's been at this game, a whole lot longer than I have, you know, so you never stop learning with trading. You're in at the long haul, so it's a case of different people at different levels. So even if I were to answer something like that, what is that really going to change for you? How is that going to influence your trading and your learning curve and where you are and your goals and your targets? It's not going to change a thing. You need to trade for you. Don't be so concerned with what somebody else is doing. Be concerned about getting the knowledge, the information, the tools that you need, and defining your goals and targets and risk model. That's what you need to focus on, and making sure you get the help you need. Survey says try it, Jeff says. Yes, that's my vote. Try it. If you want the $100 rate, make sure you use the shadowtraders.segredoquants.com. Like I said, you can always cancel at any time. Nobody's going to prevent you from canceling. Okay, let me see. You know, a lot of the issues that I have with traders is a huge, which is why I'm designing the coaching program, is a huge part of it is people don't know how to ask or get the help they need. They don't know how to do it. And left to their own devices, they simply don't connect the dots, which is why Barbara, after all the years of coding and coming out with fractals and coming out with this and coming out with that, finally said, to hell with it all, here's the Segredo. This is much more simpler. I put all my sexy coding into the numbering system and just follow the numbering system. Now, it's not a guarantee. You're still going to get faked out, which is why we need some extra training on so that you guys can understand the strategies, like understanding the difference between a number 5 of a 15-minute and how that equates to your 8 changing to the green here versus trading on a 2 where you can get, you know, a perfect downtrend trade. So you need to connect those dots, which is why you need the training that you need to understand Segredo more and how to use it better. One trade is in for it to sell. The Segredo is well worth the money. I agree. If you know how to use it, you know, like I said, there's no one way to use Segredo. Excuse me. Just because you got the numbering system, it's not the only way to trade it. There are many tricks I can show you with implementing the strategies. And as you can see here, we've just gone through on gold a cycle going long. We've just gone through 1 through 7. So now you're out. And it's a nice little reversal trade that gave you quite significant price action. So especially for scalpers who are looking for a quick opportunity, and like I said, you know, when you're below the S4, don't focus on how low we're going to go. Wait for those counter trend opportunities when you're below the S4, and these will be the opportunities I will be looking for, understanding how the market works. And that just gave you a very nice successful cycle. There was a lot of, you know, great little price action there. There was a couple of points. Reversals trade well placed in structure. Good. Excellent. This is a great point. Very good. How much does the training cost for Segredo? Well, we don't have any training to sell you at the moment. It comes right now. We're doing the Segredo training in the classes at the moment, and until we can come up with a specialized coaching package, which I'm still negotiating with shadow traders at the moment. I'm waiting for the meeting of the minds to come together and make the final decision at the moment. What is the gray line on the Segredo? The gray line is the 13 EMA on the 3-minute quant. Yeah, the gray line is basically your EMA 13 that you see on your Ninja. It's the same line, it's just a different color. So it's green on your Ninja and it's gray on your Segredo quant. Okay, and the red and green line is the same thing. It's still the HMA on the Ninja, and it's the HMA on the Segredo. And the Segredo is going to change color slightly faster than the HMA on the Ninja. Aren't we having Segredo training right now? Yes, you are. That's why I said you're getting it in the classes anyway. You're getting it in the classes, but like I said, based on the emails you guys have sent me, I'm going to restructure the training so that it's more focused. So you'll get more focused Segredo training, and for those who need Ninja, you'll get more focused Ninja training. You kind of get more focused for what you need. No one expects to learn Chinese in 1 month. Better to have a translator till you get further. Same with Segredo. Exactly. You know, start with a basic strategy that you like, that you already know how to execute. Like, let's say you like the reversal trades. So you wait for your fractals to come in, as we just saw. You wait for your HMA. You wait for your, you know, your long tail with your wick for your counter trend, and you wait for your Segredo to give you your yellow number 1 with your HMA crossing the 13 there, and your HMA crossing. And when you see that, you see your Ninja, you say, oh, this is my reversal strategy I've been waiting for the last hour. And you take the trade. And the Segredo is going to help you to tell you when it's time to get out. When you see the Christmases show up, Christmas, remember, is when the colors go out of sync. So instead of having a green bar, as we did here, a green bar with a green number, that's what we call in sync. What that says is that there's lots of traders trading in that direction. When there's fewer traders and it's starting to fizzle, okay, starting to peter out, then you'll start to see the colors will go out of sync. You'll start to see a red bar with a green number. That means some traders are going short and some traders are going long still. Okay, and then at some point we'll go red on red, which means everybody's now going short. And you want to go either red on red or green on green. But you don't want to trade on Christmas. And you don't want to trade, if you're in a trade, you want to get out. And you don't want to enter on Christmas either. Don't anticipate. Say, oh, we hit Christmas, we're going to go the other way. Because Christmas can go back to green on green. Momentum can come back in the market. Like the only reason they hit Christmas here at number 6 at 1455 is if you look at the chart, the ninja chart, you can see we hit a barrier. We hit the 100 moving average. So of course it's going to fizzle. But sometimes they can come in with momentum and push right through that 100 and go to the 200. So never just assume. You must always wait. I always tell traders, you must wait for a, and then you trade from will get faked out. And things do change. Nothing is a guarantee. So never anticipate by jumping in on Christmas. So you wait, your only choice is to get in on number 1, number 2, and trade till you see Christmas or the number 7. That's your choice. And if you see that we hit resistance, then you get out and then you trade short when you see the right entry point. When you see number 1 or number 2 come in red on red with your confirming indicators to do the reversal short. Okay, and as you can see here, we look at the 15-minute, look, we hit a little fizzle and we're still continuing with the downtrend at number 6. We could go all the way to 7 and 8. So this trend down could still not be over. And if we look at the 60-minute chart, you can see we're still continuing this downtrend. So the 60-minute is telling you the stronger direction is still short, and they're trying to, put the brakes on with some of these counter trends in between. So now we've hit 7 on the 1 and 6, so we're probably going to have another fizzle here. If Christmas is showing at 5 or 6, do you get out? Yes. Now, if you see Christmas at 2, then I don't usually get out, like, especially if I'm in a trend. If I'm in a counter trend, maybe, but if I see Christmas at 2 or 3, like here's a good example on the Segredo. Here's this nice little uptrend. Notice that you have a lot of the times you have Christmas at 3. This is very, very common. And the reason this happens is because per the rules of trading, there has to be some buying and some selling. You can't just have buy till we hit our target, then sell till we hit our target. The rule of the exchange is that there has to be some buying, some selling, some buying, some selling, some buying, some selling, more contracts buying, then some selling, more contracts buying, then some selling. It has to be filling on both sides. And so even though you'll have an overall direction, you will have some selling in between. So it doesn't mean that your trend is over. But when it gets closer to number 7, if you start to see Christmas towards 5, 6, and 7, that's when I would be getting out. But I wouldn't get out at Christmas at number 3 or 2. I would stay the course if my confirming indicators were there. That's the difference. When we first saw the 60-minute, we saw the big distance between the 13 and 20. Wasn't that kind of a clue about the direction? Yes, it is definitely a clue about the direction. It's still downtrending. But remember, let's just talk about it, because that's a really, really good point here. Let's talk about something for a second. And this is what I'm going to cover tonight, next week as well, is that the thing that you have to understand is that there's different risk models with different time frames, and there's different timings to reach your target. to make your goal for whatever goal you're going for, whether it be 10 ticks, 20 ticks, 3 ticks. If you're the 3 tick scalping guy, you're not really going to pay too much attention to this, because this is one 60-minute candle. Okay, and you're going to get a lot of buying and selling and buying and selling and buying and selling within 60 minutes, and they're all tradable in both directions to get 3 targets a pop, 3 ticks a pop. However, if you're the swing trader that puts on a position and leaves it for a few hours to get 300 points, then you're going to be looking at this information saying the market's not over going short. And you're not going to get out at the first sign of Christmas or fizzle. You're going to be using a different set of information for timing. So that's the difference. It's all about how to use the different importances as a means to your specific target or specific end. Okay, so you can't align everything. It's no use trying to align the 60-minute with the 1 minute if you're only going for 3 ticks. That's a waste of your time. You're just going to be confused, because this is going to be going long and this is going to go short, and you don't know the direction of the market. Well, you get rid of the 60-minute and you just trade, you know, the 5 and the 1 minute chart. You change this to a 5-minute, and you use your 1 minute Segredo, and you go, okay, my 5-minute gives me a green candle. I've got my HMA green. You know, my Segredo is there. I'm going to jump in this opportunity and take my 3 ticks. Same with over here. Now you've got some green, 5 minutes green. I'm going to jump in and take my 3 ticks. You know, so it's all about what strategy and what you're going for and how much risk you're willing to tolerate, how long you want to be in the market to get it. That's what defines what time frames you align for your confirming indicators. Thank you, Mel. Seems like the swing would work well on the Forex. Yes, it's very good for Forex trading, swing trading, using the 50-minute, 60-minute charts. Very good. So the strong oscillator at 1420 would show that the flash of Christmas is not a big worry, correct? At 1420, let's move this out the way here. Yes, the exactly. If I expand this chart a little bit. The question was, the strong oscillator, okay, going here, said that it wasn't, well, the oscillator is getting a little small here, but we're in a transition from gap into trend, okay? But the key thing is what you also want to do is, you know, right after 1420, 4, I would have stayed until you start to see 5 is starting to turn to Christmas. And if we look at our chart, we go to 1420, right, we're on a counter trend. So it's very probable that things can fizzle on a counter trend as opposed to on a trend. So that also has a defining factor as to how much price action you're going to get on your numbers. Because remember, just because you got a number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, doesn't mean you're going to get 20 ticks. Between 2 and 5 doesn't guarantee 20 ticks. That's very important for you to understand that. Okay? You can see that at 1420, and these are the nuances that you can get confused about with Segredo, which is why you need more Segredo training. You can see here we have 2 to 5, you know, is green. And if we look at the price action as opposed to, let's compare it to, let's take this back to 2.5 hours. Okay, so 1420, okay, 2 to 5, and as opposed to this 2 to 5, or 2 to 6, let's say, if we look at here at 1405 coming short to 1410, you can see on this price action here, the square versus the circle, you got the same numbering system. You got 2 to 6, and here you got 2 to 6. But they both gave you different amounts of price action in a given direction, giving you a different type of fill based on your timing. So it's very important to see the difference between the square, the rectangle, and the circle against the numbering system. And you can see that the oscillator is a little stronger on the red side than it is the yellow going to green. This yellow, remember that yellow and the blue on the oscillator always represent counter trending. So they represent your gap trades. And the red and the green represent trending. Okay, and sometimes the developing trend, if we go from yellow to green, it's not always a guarantee. It all depends with how many trends too complicated. Because, you know, again, it's all about what it is you're going for and how much alignment you need to get it. If you're only going for 3 ticks, you only need a certain number of stars to align. If you're going for, you know, 300 points, then you require a different set of stars to align. Too many stars is Chinese. Which line reg is the orange again? It's the linear regression 9. The brown is the linear regression 4. So that's technically the slower one, which is what you want for trending, because you don't want to get in too quickly. You only want to get in when majority of the traders are going in the direction of the trend. And it will be too slow for scalping. You want to get in early for scalping before things change, because you've got a very tight window to scalp. So you want the brown linear regression for those quick changes for scalp. So the orange prevents you from getting in too early, and the brown prevents you from getting in too late for scalping. So different linear regressions for different strategies. Orange for trending, brown for scalping, counter trending. Nice looking chart. Somehow it clears up the moves on gold. Yeah, when I do my simplified how to make your sexy chart, I call it the sexy chart, the focus chart. You should always have one chart the chart that you've taken things off, that you only want the most important information on. You don't need everything there. You have other charts for that. You can have a 5-minute chart like this. You can do this can be a wonderful workspace. You can do something like this. You can have your 1-minute Segredo for scalpers. This is very good workspace. You can have your 5-minute, your 30-second, and your 5-minute. So your 5-minute, you can have everything on it, the whole kitchen sink, so you can see the moving averages, the trend versus the counter trend, and all that good stuff. Your 1-minute helps you to see, are you at number 5 versus number 1 in the cycle? Where is the fizzle going to happen? Are you at the beginning of the party or the end of the party? And your 30-second helps you to see, oh, look, there's my exact entry per my ninja. It confirms it. There's my little sexy pattern. I'm going to trade the linear regression crosses with the HMA, and I'm going to scalp 3 ticks all day long. And of course, you're not going to go short here yet, because look, we're still green on green number 6 with the Segredo. So you're going to rule that cross out. You know, you want to wait till you see Christmas. Or red number 1, and then maybe you'll jump in and take your 3 ticks. Because this could turn around and go back green to number 7. So now you're avoiding a potential fake out here by using your Segredo. It could go short. That's okay. But see, look, it turned. Didn't it just turn? Sneaky, huh? Sneaky. So you can see how the ninja can sometimes lie to you. I always say candles are liars. They start out red, they end up green. They start out big, they end up small. They start out small, they end up big. You can never guarantee a direction on a candle, especially something like a 30-second. Now look at that. It turned green. And can you see what the Segredo told you? Remember I said you're not going to take that linear regression cross short, because your Segredo said green on green number 6. There was no Christmas. There was no red. There was nothing. We are still bullish. Therefore, your ninja lied to you. So for scalpers, you just got stopped out. Now we got Christmas. Now we got Christmas coming in at number 7. Now we've got the HMA color change. So you can start to really fine-tune what your fake out's going to be and avoid those fake outs by following a set pattern and using the right tools to confirm your timings. And the Segredo will help you with that. Bouncing on the 50 SMA. Yeah, look, there we go. On the 5-minute, somebody says we're bouncing the 50 SMA. So yes, so there's still left over momentum there, but we haven't really changed direction yet. Now look at your Segredo comes in with the number 1, and that could still change. Remember I said I don't always believe number 1s. You know, sometimes I'm a little hesitant, and especially if it's a counter trend number 1, and I'd rather wait for number 2 to come in. You know, and let me do this so you can really see this. There you go. Okay, so now we've got number 1, blue on blue. See, there changed to 7. You see, I never just jump into number 1s. I wait, because you can see, okay, now the 5-minute is changing to red. Looks like it's starting to hold. Maybe by number 2, I'll jump in and take my 3 ticks. So these are the things that you guys have to practice when finding that focus for your trading plan. Like I said, forget about trying to grab everything in the market. Forget about trying to look at too many markets and take some of the natural gas and take some of the Australian dollar and grab some opportunity in gold. Rather focus on one market, make some money for a while, then maybe add a second market if you get bored of staring at one market for too long of a time, to get done faster, you know, and look for a specific pattern. And there's so many patterns I can show you. You keep coming to classes, I'm going to show you different patterns with the Segredo, I'm going to show you different patterns with a Ninja. There's so many ways to slice and dice this thing. The thing is, don't try to do everything. Don't try to align too many stars. Stay focused on a single formula, develop a single trading plan, and have the discipline to stick to it for a while. That's the thing that we have to work on, developing that discipline. That's where a lot of us, that's where your personal development comes in. You know, and this is where coaching is going to help you. Would you make a chart template out of this? Yes. Yeah, well, I have, you know, actually in the, I don't think I've created the video. I think I've done that, the class that I'm doing. See, look, now we've gone from number 2 to number 3. You know, definitely will be getting my 3 ticks here. Notice that the 5-minute is bouncing off the 15 SMA coming down. So, you know, in this particular scenario, because we're on the counter trend, I would have entered a little later than the linear regression cross, you know, and that's another important point to make. The circle versus the square. What's the difference between the circle and the square? Who can tell me? What's the difference between the circle and the square? Between 1546 cross of the linear regression and the HMA and the 1552 cross of the linear regression HMA. What's the difference between the circle and the square? Below the HMA, HMA is flat, Linreg 9. Hiram gets a cookie. You get a cookie. Hiram gets a cookie. Gail says touching candle. I've only got one person who gave me the answer so far. Color of HMA. All these are good factors. Chuck gets a cookie. Come on. Momentum. These are nice factors, but they're not the most important ingredient I'm asking for. What's the difference between the circle and the square on the ninja chart? Touch of the fractal, angle of the 13. Paul gets a cookie. Tim gets a cookie. Start of the party. Medea gets a cookie. You cannot see the green line yet, as this is momentum. End of the trend. Amanda says, I need a cookie. Well, you get a cookie if you answer the question right. Okay, Kyle gets a cookie. Diddy gets a cookie. Right, so all those that said trend versus counter trend, you got yourself a cookie. What's the difference between the circle and the square? Well, why would I take that cross more? And why would I sit and wait for number 2 versus number 1 on the square? Because this is the counter trend. Can you see the blue bars? Right? At 1547, we were on the green bars going on the trend. That's the difference. And the trend is likely to give you less problems, less whipsaw, less fake outs, especially if you're trading in the 1 and 2 area versus the counter trend. See here, 48 is number 1, number 2, 49 is less likely to give you problems than the number 1 on this side. Number 1 became a 7, became a, a 1 again, because it's the counter trend. That's the difference. So always observe. You can further define your trading plan or your cross pattern that you want to focus on by saying, okay, I'm good at trend trading, so I'm going to do all the crosses that are on the trend, and I'm going to ignore all the counter trends, because every time I get in late, or I get whipsawed, I get stopped out. You see, here we go. We're on the trend again. We're on the trend. So maybe you take the cross on the trend. Okay, even though we've got some blue bars at the bottom here, we're green on top. Look at your 5-minute is going on the trend. So you could say, I prefer to take the crosses on the trend. I'm not going to take the crosses on the counter trend, and that's going to be my trading plan. And I'm going to look for 2 to 4 of those a day. Now you have a plan. You have a focus plan, you have a discipline, you know what you're looking for, and you just need to wait for it to show up and use the right tools to confirm. Use your Socrato plus your 30-second, sexy chart, and your 5-minute to observe, or your 15-minute to observe the bigger picture. This is an awesome plan. Very, very easy to follow. Exactly. Remember, guys, less is more. You guys need to conquer the less first. A lot of you haven't conquered riding your bike with training wheels. You're trying to ride your bike without the training wheels too quickly. That's the biggest problem I have with teaching people how to trade. You're just too quick to take the training wheels off, and you want to be a millionaire by Friday. Remember, this is an investment. This is about building your portfolio, building your building your accounts up slowly, developing that skill. And you can make money while you're developing the skill. It's all about having a simple focus. Not trying to see the whole market and capitalize on everything. You can't. You can't get all there is to get. It's just not possible. The best traders in the world have to waste a number of opportunities. They have to let it go by. That's just the name of the game. You're just looking for a piece of the action.